Hey guys, it's me here back again for another video. And today is Thursday, which Kaiju number 8 new chapter comes out. So basically, what I wanted to do today was like a basic recap of like the manga, because this is a manga review technically. Yes. So yeah, through chapter 30 to 35. Good grief. Hold on. Because let me do this because I wanted to do it like from the last like a month ago or so, but I didn't get to do it. Laziness, didn't have the drive. But through chapters 30 to 35 right now, or chapter from 30 to 34, have been rather interesting though. So in chapter 30, when Kafka revealed his Kaiju form in front of the whole entire squad, and him basically having to come to terms. I mean, basically, people were theorizing when he would eventually show up his Kaiju form. It was earlier than expected though. Literally, and the subversion of it's like somewhat of subversion, because we thought it would have been like later on in the chapters, but it isn't. Alright, so yeah, so going back to what I'm saying with the recap. So the recap shows Gino and Mina battling Kaiju number 9 and all that, all battling and getting clapped basically and all that. When chapter 31 is showing Kappa's adult version and his child version with a gun in his hand, which it kind of symbolizes like sacrifices and like dreams and all of that, because that the month before with chapter 31, it just blew some of us away that he decided that, you know what, he doesn't care anymore, because if all of them are going to die there. And you see, the thing about it, I wanted to make a video on that, like for chapter 31, and I didn't. Where if he did not continue, if he didn't intervene into that blast and push the blast back in, like push it into space, imagine if all of them died from that blast that number 10, yeah, Kaiju number 10 put out. It would have looked suspicious on him, because they're saying, how is it that everyone else died in that explosion but you didn't? Like the impact of that area. And I'm telling you though, I'm telling you, when we do get an eventual thing for the anime, the animation is going to be gorgeous for it. When chapter 32, when Kappa released his monster form to take out number 10, and it was pretty sad though. Well, my thing is though, because going back through this chapter though, and I said I wanted to review it, the fact that reading it, because my interpretation is what would have happened is that, like, seeing that, like, for next chapter, like for chapter 33, I thought everyone would be like, oh, he's a monster, he's this, that. Can't believe I interact with someone like this. Because, you're gonna have the occasional persons who will have no issue discriminating because he's a monster. Because I want to say this though to as well. I feel some people in the squad might share their disgust because he's a kaiju, because he's just like a monster. Because because chapter 33 was rather interesting, alright? So let me pause right there. I want to add like some tidbits of my personal, nah, yeah, my personal theory. So I've been saying on Kaiju number 8 Discord server, and I was supposed to make a video on this before chapter 33, or basically chapter 32, 33. Like, and it kind of confirmed my theory that they're going to do genetic testing on their troops to match the same level as the as the kaijus, because yeah, because I was supposed to make a theory on it, but I didn't because I didn't have like the amount of energy or time. But what's rather interesting is that the way how they're putting it though is that they thought Kafka was a monster in disguise who infiltrated the military base. And I've been talking to some persons, like a friend who, like, kind of like a Discord mate on the Kaiju number 8 server, that, and I've said it before, that they're going to do genetic testing because I already wanted to do a video on a theory base where Kiburo, it has kaiju blood. That's what I wanted to make a theory video on. Like, her father has kaiju, like Kiburo has some genetically altered kaiju blood, and that is why she's that super strong. When we first met her early on in the chapter, because, and harking back to chapter 33, they couldn't believe that Kafka himself, this person they thought was human, but he isn't. And everyone is debating, saying, no, don't, let's not kill him. Let's use him as research. And harking to back what I was saying, that harking to back what I was saying, that I have a suspicion that the Japanese government have been experimenting on their troops with kaiju blood to match, because you have their battlesuits that looks eerily similar to an anatomy of a kaiju of their fought, and they have said that it is made from the dead bodies of kaijus, the dead cells of the kaijus that they have killed. So I was saying to the Discord, like the Discord members, that they're going to use Kafka as a labyrinth, as a damn labyrinth, to make genetically altered kaijus. Why? I mean, why not? If you on a daily basis gonna rely on your suits, which mind you, if you go beyond like the 100% of the suit, it can scramble your body to the point where you just implode, bleed out from the nose, eyes, mouth. You be scrambled from inside. So they're here and all that. He's saying, yeah, couple. Everybody is just in shock. Like even Hibino himself is just like, I feel like though Hibino himself is just in shock. And that's not mean I would be mad though, but surprisingly she isn't. But I'm surprised she isn't, and say that she will want to work back with him. They are childhood friends, and he does have feelings for her, but my thing is though, and let me be real here though, even though she said she wants him to still be by her side, why do I get the feeling that deep down she's hesitating to say that to him? Because my thing is though, and from early chapters on, we get some glimpses of Mina and Kafka's childhood and where they live, and that basically kaiju attacked their home in that area and literally just killed off her parents, or to that extent. And I'm like, do you have some inner deep seated thing you're trying to work on? Because it seems to me, and looking at the chapter now, when she's saying, yep, I will always be waiting, giving a little smile, but I'm like, do you? I'm like, do you? Because I can't imagine, like, anyone in that sense not to have some deep seated hate, thinking that the person they've known since childhood turns out to be a kaiju. And going to the facility, which I have predicted that he's going to be in the facility to be tested as a lab rat. And I can see I was wrong on that part, because in chapter 34 cover it shows him in his kaiju form, wrapped in chains, shackled. And what's interesting with chapter 34 is that It starts off with the group wondering they can't believe that Kappa himself is number 8. And Reno is sad though because it didn't have to come to this situation. And when they were told that they would be transferred to other units. Now I made a theory last week on this. I'm gonna put another stub to this and say that I made a theory on this, that it's not a coincidence that they're being transported to another unit. So essentially what's happening is that they're separating persons from that main squad to other units, because it was said that there are more increased attacks and they would train with the other new members. But my initial theory is that they just want to separate people, because I even said it as well on the Kaiju number 8 Discord that they're all being separated because Reno has an association with Kappa and all of that, and they're all being separated to the max. Because I have theories that Kikoru is going to be transferred from that squad to some far area away from Kappa. And you know, if you read the manga, what I'm talking about, because she wanted to give her statement to her father, but to revoke the execution of Kappa. But going to what I was saying in Discord, that Kikiro might have some kaiju blood within her, like genetically speaking. And another thing too as well, I want to bring up as like a side little theory on this, is that I have a theory that Kikiro's mother might have been a kaiju, because no, this is just a theory, not to be taken as fact. It's just a crackpot theory. But my theory is that Kikiro's mother was a kaiju, or, and I said this, or her father is a kaiju, because I wanted to make a video last week on chapter 34, but I think that her father might be a kaiju, because the way how it implies that it was the very same thing that killed her mother led me to believe that either her mother was a kaiju or her father was a kaiju, is a kaiju right now, because the way how it seemed, because he's saying the same line as, it's the same as what killed your mother, a monster. No, it could be based off the translation from Viz and all of that, manga plus or Viz, but I would like to believe that, yeah, I would like to believe that either her mother was a kaiju, or her father is a kaiju, but he is relinquishing the fact that he's in guilt because he realized that he was a monster and he killed his wife by mistake. Because the way how it implied, because And alright. When I'm finished with the recapping of the chapters, because I'm still in chapter 34 recapping, because you can see how easily influenced Kikiro is. And I've said this before, and I want to say in the video that she's going to be someone who is going to be easily manipulated, because of course she's daddy's dearest. Of course she's going to not want to disobey him. And chapter 34 was just wild with a lot of things. And it kind of proved to me that Chief Shinomiya, it, it, it might be some monster though. It could be the suit, but the way how he uses bare hands of the suit to pierce his side could have been one of his cores. And he put his blood, Kappa's blood in a vial, and that kind of put in my suspicion that that blood he puts in that vial is one going to be tested of the help Kappa's emulsification, and two, that same blood he got from Kappa, is going to be used in genetic testing of super soldiers. Now we're on to chapter 35, where we left off, where the chief was fighting with Kappa in the facility, testing him, and he brought out the weapon. And boy, oh boy, the way I'm saying I was correct on something, but I did not expect that lore drop. Because I want to believe that, because Kappa's still under the impression that if he proves to them that he's still human, they will listen to him, but they're not. And boy, this fight was amazing, because the way how Kaiju number two's cells are using those gauntlets to the point where, bruh, this is insane. And it kind of proves to me that, because I've been asking the same question too, is that what happened between numbers 1 to 7? Because I've been always wondering that in the Discord circle. And now we got a little bit of answer that the gauntlet is made from Kaiju number 2's cell. So I was just discussing with some members in the server just now that the Chief Shinomiya could be a kaiju, because there's no way the gauntlets themselves can have that monsterization of energy from his cells, because the next panel, it says a mega monster's presence. And then now they dropped something about Kaiju number 2, that it was the second monster to receive its number. It drove Sapporo City. And went in Sapporo City to the brink of extinction, brink of destruction and extinction in 1972, which is rather interesting. And it was the Mega Monster with its pride, resists, and it was defeated. I'm going to back what the server persons were saying is that someone brought up it could be that it was his Kaiju number two's core they used to put into the gauntlets. Now that doesn't sound like a bad theory from what we were saying. Like that doesn't sound like a bad thing to what it was saying. He was saying because it could as well be his core using the gauntlets, but that looks unlikely though. And we were discussing in the server, and I brought it up many times, but I'm bringing it up in this video now, that the chief Shinomiya is a monster. Is a monster because he's way too sus from the early chapter, and the way how Kikoru behaved, look, I'm like, why do I get the feeling that she has some monsterized blood from her father? And plus, it kind of match up with the timeline, 1972. Cause them gauntlets couldn't just hold like Kaiju number two cells. It either has to have its core, or Shinomiya has number two's core. Cause it seems to me that he's the only one to operate those gauntlets. And this nice shot of Kafka dodging the thumbnail of the video. This man was relentless. And kind of a recap. So I want to get into some little more theories again. That again I want to bring up that Chief Shinomiya, so, and like I said, I came up with two things. That the Chief Shinomiya could be Kaiju himself, or his wife was a Kaiju. And those are just crackpot theories. because yeah, like the relentless of one scene, because Kikoru herself looked like she could have some monster blood, but not to be unlike her. She's a child prodigy, so of course people would all things for the children to get up in life. She used that as Lewis because going back to what I was saying before, uh, genetic they're going to start doing genetic testing for their soldiers. And I can see I wasn't wrong for saying that though, because they confirmed 3 chapters ago that the US government themselves is using these monsters, the monsters they killed in their lab. So of course, why not? Now, this is why I get into the more theory portion of this video. So, chapter 13 to 35. Now, I'll prepare. Hold on. I'm back. Now, I have said that Kafka is going to be used as a labyrinth for his blood to make super soldiers. I mean, it's a kaiju thing. So first, you would assume they would do that, though. Not uncommon, not uncommon or unheard of, really. But there's no surprise there. And my theory portion is that I've got to do. I might do this for next video about Kaiju's number 1 to 7, because they merely brought up number 2, but they haven't brought up the other numbers. Mm. And another thing I want to bring up is it's a little tidbit of a theory, but which is gonna stem from another video. Like, the reason why kaijus keep attacking their main base, and I came up with this theory on the server, which I'm gonna explore in the next video. But the reason why they keep attacking the base is because kaiju number 0 is there. That's all I'm gonna put out. Like Kaiju number 0 is in that base on the ground somewhere because I have made a theory on the server that Kappa himself is gonna put into some underground facility where you might see all of 1 through 7. I wasn't wrong on that part. But I assume next chapter, chapter 36, we're gonna see more of Kappa being tortured. I'm hearing no break next week, so yeah, chapter 31 is just no, 35 is just wild because he's trying to prove himself that he's not a monster, but boy, the chief is relentless to prove his point. The thing is though, I like the design wise of Kappa's in his partialness. Like he hasn't fully like he haphazardly transformed into this kaiju form, but it looks like he's finally merging into his form. Because his hand got cut off, and he partially transformed, not fully. As you can see on his face, it's trying to transform the eye area to his face. And bruh. And something someone brought up to like last week, and I might do in the other video, how each of the other characters can. And yeah, it's another theory I want to do on Kappas, which I was supposed to do last week and did not. And I'm on the go so. But I'm planning on doing it. Right. Like an in-depth analysis of Kappa. Like saying he has some sort of kaiju ancestry I want to bring up. Um, and that's why he could maintain the parasitic bug thing that he had to eat. Yeah, the whole other thing I want to get into like in that video. So look out for that because way more interesting. Because this is an underrated manga, but I hope more and more people start to read it though. Because this chief is insane. Because I'm telling you, Like Kikoru and him must have some monster blood within them because there's no way in hell like this man can harbor and the only one can control Kaiju number two's the gauntlets made from Kaiju number two. Like specifically him. So even he ate one of Kaiju number two's core to be like, as you always hear the same, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, meaning if you want to beat the monster, and if you want to beat things like that, you yourself will become the monster to defeat the monster. Kind of defeating the purpose. And he's a well experienced fighter, so of course he will handle this though. Because this can be a video within itself as well. So I might do that. Because he's proved, because I want to say he's proven a point to Kikiro that Kafka isn't human anymore. Like like, and I think he kind of proved it with the X-ray scans that his autonomy changed over time quickly to mean that so his human parts turn into monster parts as well. Like going to the monstrification aspect of it. And he isn't human anymore. And that's the point he's trying to prove to her that because he's trying to be the big daddy in the situation. Because I know for a fact that next chapter, after he's done, he's going to tell her that she's going to be transferred to another division because he doesn't want her to get influenced by Kappa. And I feel that's partial. And the thing is, I feel that's partially as to why he's doing this as well. Because seeing that he's a monster, and the fact that he interacted with his daughter, of course he's going to be that type of person and say, so you hide yourself amongst humans where you interact with my daughter. I feel as if that's what he's trying to do, per se, trying to say that a monster like you interacting with my daughter, what do you think is going to happen? Of course, he's gonna kill him because he sees him as a threat. Because he's saying this monster was interacting with my daughter, eating at the same table as his daughter, and he's like, no, he's not going to stand for that. And plus, he doesn't want his daughter to be influenced by him, trying to keep her under his control because he is gonna put under the assumption that Kappa is kind of would have manipulated, coerced Um, what was it? Gaslight? Kikoru? And I know some people are gonna hate Chief Shinomiya. But you gotta kind of see his point because it's coming up in that other in-depth video. Because, and I know I haven't made an other videos on Jujutsu Kaisen. That's upcoming this week. No doubt about it. It's coming up this week. I got some theories I want to add up before chapter 150 drops. But yeah, man, this chapter was insane. And when how Kappa was saying, dodge it. This man, and said, damn it. And this guy hit by the chief's hands. I'm telling you though, man. I'm telling you, because I'm in a theory that Kafka is going to. And let me put my other theory in here right now, so I don't forget. I made another theory, which might come into another mini theory that Kafka himself is going to escape from this facility. He's gonna bust out of this facility and go on the run because they're going to use his DNA. They're gonna do testing on people, and then they're gonna kill him. And my thing is, so my thing is that it's not going to end well for nobody. It's literally not going to end well. And I have made a theory that we are going to see Kappa go to Monster Island. And that's another theory I came up with, that we're going to see Kappa go to Monster Island, and we see other various other kaijus, and we'll probably live on there. Yeah, you probably live on an island, and so far it is a mini theory I come up with. But yeah, overall, and thing is though, and I like the chapter's name. It's called Relentless Denial. So it falls under the two spectrum. Shinomiya, um, no, alright, let me put it this way. The first part, Kafka himself, still in denial that he's still human and wants to convince people that he is human, but to some of their eyes, you're a monster. You remain a monster because you're a monster. So why would they look at you the same way as them? No. There's something that they fight every day. Well, some people will defend him, but some people won't. And next part, if Shinomiya in denial, in denial and rage of this, what he perceives as a human, a kaiju in human form, or something to that letter. Because his denial is that he is not opted to listen. But I can see, and I'm telling you, I can see his point of view because usually in movies and things like that, you always have that one chief or other person who is willing to take things too far, but sometimes they're somewhat correct on things because they're saying if you kill that thing or redo this, you want to risk more destruction, more pain, more suffering. No, eventually, so that will come into an in-depth video. This man is insane with his gauntlets. I can see a lot of people making these gauntlets though. Because when Kaiju number 8 does become so quote mainstream, oh boy. So overall, I can rate this chapter 35 with the insane design and looking at it, it doesn't seem to brilliant. It doesn't seem to go around anything. Like it just blitz right through it. And when I say it was blitz right through, it it doesn't have it does have some in chapter 33, 34, like side by side banter and all of that. But it took the literal action route. Like nothing to it. Showing he's straightforward, telling straight up tell Kafka that he's going to straight up kill him. He doesn't hide the fact that he doesn't want to keep him alive. And also I got my eyes on Deputy Chief Keiji. I got my eyes on him. I have a theory that he has something monstrous to him too. Chief Keiji, he has something to him I don't trust. He has some monster to him. Anyway, Kaiju number 8 is just insane. I'm gonna rate this chapter. Let me see, chapter of I'm going to rate it 7 out of 10 this week's chapter because what I'm showing you on screen, that's one of the best shots as well. This chapter has some of the best shots and best reactions, and It doesn't hold back. So yeah, this is my video for Kaiju no 8. So expect to see more. Please look out for some more Jujutsu Kaisen 3 videos because I haven't done any more. And the upcoming ones is coming. Don't worry. Alright, bye guys.